wanted to work through one of the examples from the previous day's assignment. Now this one is just number 3. I could have picked any of these. I wanted to pick 3 or 4 because they have 2x2s on both sides rather than one of them having a 2x1. It doesn't really change the operation any, it just adds another column. I would like to add that in questions 5, 6, 7, 8, you will add or subtract the extra matrix to the other side, just like you would do any other equations. You'll notice that that matrix is exactly the same size as the matrix on the other side, so you would be able to add or subtract that value accordingly. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that you knew how to kind of work through this with just paper pencil and what's expected of you, as well as how to check my answers in the calculator. I'm not really going to show you the calculator method, but I will kind of discuss it. You can check that video out. It does a great job of kind of telling you how to get it into the calculator, and that's TI-84. Or if you're using the Desmos calculator on the web, all the above work pretty easily, and it's the same method. Just the buttons are a little bit different. Okay, so step number 1. So this is nice that we don't have to write a matrix equation. So we've got one less step to do, but we've got this one. What I want to say is, number 1, we always put the matrix that is next to the variable. This is the one we want to kind of consider matrix A. And the one that is not next to the variable or the unknown, we're going to call this matrix B. This is a little bit more important of which one we call it A or B in the calculator, because when I go to give those commands, if you choose the wrong one, put it in backwards order, you get the wrong answer. So I always put A into the matrix with the variable next to it, because what we're really going to be doing is we're going to say A inverse on both sides like this and get rid of this one. So this one's just left with C, and this would be my solution when I get finished with it, right? So what I'm going to do first is find the determinant of matrix A, right? So that's pretty straightforward. It's going to be -11 times 3 minus -40, which is 7. That's the first thing I look for. Number 2 is to write out the inverse of matrix A, right? So A inverse would be equal to 1 over 7. I'm using that formula. If you don't remember it, look it up in your notes. I'm going to switch the first diagonal, so 3 and -11, and then change the signs of the other ones, so 8 and -5. I'm going to go ahead and multiply through. This is going to give me 3/7, -5/7, 8/7, and -11/7. So it's nice. It doesn't really simplify at all. So that's the next part. The following piece, this would be part 3. I'm going to bring down the matrix I'm going to be multiplying by. Really what I'd like to do is I'd like to do A inverse times matrix B. Right? Now this works whether it's a 2x2 like this one, or it's that 2x1 like in the previous examples. It's going to work out all the same. So I'm going to bring this down next here, so -4/23. Now this one's going to be a little bit longer than the other ones because I've got an extra column, but it's going to work out relatively the same. I'm just going to kind of do this, and I'm just going to write out what we're multiplying. So the first part is going to be taking this fraction, multiplying it times the first number here, and this fraction times the first number here. We're going to do that across the top. All right, we're going to go across here, and we're going to go down like this, and then we're going to go across this and down like this. That's going to give us this position and this position. Then I'll go back in, I'll do it with the bottom row. So 3/7 times -9 is going to be -27/7 plus -5/7 times -4. That's going to be +20/7. I'm going to leave it as fractions for now because they're going to be all sevenths, so it's going to be kind of nice to keep it in sevenths so I can add them together later on. Then we're going to take the top row again and multiply times the second column. So 3/7 times 22 is going to be 66/7 plus -5/7 times 23. Okay, that's going to be -115/7. Then we're going to go down to the bottom. We're going to use this. Now we're going to be using the second row here, and we're multiplying times each of the columns to get these two positions. So we're going to say 4 times 8, or -4 times 8 would be -32/7. Right? Oh, no, back up. Don't go too fast. it's going to be 8/7 times 9, so that's going to be negative 72 over 7, plus the 4 times the 11, that's going to be a positive 44 over 7. And then we'll go to the next column, 8 times 22 over 7, and negative 11 times 23 over 7. So 8/7 times 22 is going to give me 176 over 7 plus negative 253 over 7. And when I simplify all of that, we're going to get the following. We'll get negative 1, negative 7, negative 4, and negative 11. So this would be kind of the fourth part I'm looking for. We had 5 steps earlier because we had to write the equation out, and that was kind of already given to us. We didn't have like x, y, and z. We just had a matrix gradient to start with. So that's what I would expect to see by hand, right? Now, let's be clear. I didn't do all this in my head. I definitely used a calculator to do some of this stuff. And I don't have any problem with you doing that. I don't even have a problem with you checking first the calculator method and then just putting all this in, right? But let's kind of talk about what we did to get this calculator to show me the answer and know the answer before I even started. And it's right here. In the calculator, I used this inside of matrix A, and I put this matrix inside of matrix B. This is A because it's next to our variable here. When I do that, I put both those in the calculator, and I do this operation right here. A, I go matrix, right? If you hit second, then the x to the negative 1 button on the TI-84, and then you're going to choose that matrix A, and you're literally going to hit the x to the negative 1 button. That's how you're going to get that inverse symbol. And then you're going to go back into second matrix and then choose matrix B. And so you end up getting that operation that you see right there. It ends up being A inverse times B. The operation is automatically multiplication, so you don't even have to actually use the multiplication symbol. It'll automatically multiply. And when you hit enter, that's going to give you the solution. And you should see this solution happen at the bottom. I hope this helps a little bit. You can check your work through all of that. Remember, it's the 3x3s, which really didn't have a whole lot of those on this worksheet. Those are pretty easy. When you do a 3x3, 3 equations, I'm only expecting to see the calculator method. I don't need to see all of this. It's just the 2x2, so I want to see all this. If you have any more questions, please let me know, and I'll be more than glad to help.